Now we find that in example C, we don't have one of these nice y equals already there. So hint, we're going to find a variable that does not have a coefficient. That's the best place to start. So don't start solving with the 3x or the 6x or the 2y. Let's start solving right here with this y. So I'm going to take 3x plus y equals 2, and I'm going to solve it for y. So I'm going to subtract that 3x from both sides, and that's going to give me y is equal to negative 3x plus 2. So I want to start that way, and now I want to take this 3x plus 2, negative 3x plus 2, and plug it into the other equation. So I'm going to draw a line right there. So I'm going to have 6x plus 2 times, now in place of the y, I'm going to put negative 3x plus 2, and then I have equals to 4. All right, now solve it. So I get a 6x, distribute, minus 6x, and plus 4 is equal to 4. Combine terms, so I see I end up with 4 is equal to 4. So this is a situation where I couldn't solve for the variable x. So the answer there is no, I can't solve for x. But what I come up with is a true statement. And when I come up with a true statement, that means that these are the same lines actually, and that the solution is going to be an infinite number of solutions. Remember that that does not mean all real numbers. Those are not the same thing. Infinite number of solutions. All right, so now let's go down to D. On this one, again, it's not nicely solved anywhere. So I'm going to search through here for the variable that does not have a coefficient, and I found it right here in this x. So I'm going to begin by solving this first equation for x. So I have x plus 2y equals negative 3. I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides so that I have the x isolated on the left. So x now is equal to negative 2y minus 3. Now we didn't do that when we were working with equations, but we're going to do that now and solve for x here. Then what I'm going to then do is plug it into the second equation. So I use the first one to find this, so I'm going to plug it into the second. So it's important. If I use the first one to get the x value, I need to plug it into the other equation. So I'm going to have 3, and in place of the x, I'm going to put negative 2y minus 3, then plus 6y is equal to 9. So that will be a negative 6y minus 9 plus 6y equals to 9. And this time I'm going to get, when I combine terms, again my y subtract out, and I get negative 9 is equal to 9, which it isn't, of course. So this is not true, and if it's not true, then there is going to be no solution. And when you have no solution, you can use the symbol of the 0 with a slash through it. All right, so finally this last one over here, I can solve. Again, I'm looking for a variable without a coefficient, so I can either solve for a or b, it doesn't matter. So I have a plus b is equal to 15, so I'll solve it for a and just subtract b from both sides. So I'm going to have then a is equal to negative b plus 15. Now I'm going to plug it into the other equation. So I'm going to have 3, and in place of the a, I'm going to put in negative b plus 15. Then I have minus 2b is equal to 5. So always be careful, double check, make sure you plugged it in right. So then that will be a negative 3b, and that's 15, right? So 3 times 15 is 45 minus 2b is equal to 5. Combine terms, So I get a negative 5b plus 45 is equal to 5. So now I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. So that's going to leave me with negative 5b. And when I subtract 45, that's going to leave me with negative 40. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5 and get b is equal to 8. So there's the first part of my solution. Now I'm going to come over and in place of the 8, I'm going to put, in place of the b, I'm going to put in the 8. So I'm going to have a is equal to a negative of, I'm going to put the 8 in, plus 15. So it's a negative 8. So negative 8 plus 15 is 7. So A is 7, B is 8. I'm going to put them in alphabetical order when I put them in an order pair, A, B. Then I'm going to check my answers. When I put a 7 in for the A, I get 3 times 7 minus 2 times 8 is equal to 5. So 21 minus 16 is 5. And that checks. Then plug into the second one, which so I get A with 7 plus 8 is 15, and that's also checking. Scoot those up.